joining you this hour on this program, The Real Issue.
It's my great pleasure
The real issue will be
joining
a
you.
platform that will be working together and supporting the London Political Summits at this year's summit that will be holding within the month of October, which is the month of the celebration of Black History Month in the UK. So it's my great pleasure of joining you this evening as we discuss some few things about Black History Month and the upcoming London Summit. My great pleasure of joining you this evening, Mr. Allen.
Thank you very much. So just in case anyone who is joining us now live, as we are live on this platform of the London Political Summit, and we are discussing about the significance of this Black History Month on the diaspora, the Black community here in the United Kingdom. So I've got with me Dr. Godson Azu, who is the director of the London Political Summit. So now, Dr. Godson, how do you understand the Black History Month, as you have also chosen to bring the summit in this month of October?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Alan Madidi. In as much as I'm getting more and more involved in community work here in the UK and engaging with all communities from the ethnic Black minority countries here in the United Kingdom, it has given me an opportunity to look into the key areas in which most especially the Black community in the UK are relating with one another and how they have been able to engage with themselves from the historic perspective of their migration or their residency here in the United Kingdom. The Black History Month, as we are made to understand, originated somewhere in the United States of America, when one of the sons of the Black slaves in the United States get an understanding the lost value of the Black people in the US and wanted to restore that value back in terms of the contribution of the Black people in the national and regional development of the United States after the end of slavery and the new rise of America as a big power player in the global community. And so as far back as 1926, Carter J. Woodson wrote a kind of a press release or a press statement that actually brought about the establishment and the significance of Black History movement in the US. And that has metaphors into what we are celebrating here in the United Kingdom as part of recognition of the contribution of the Black community in the development of the United Kingdom in the last 17th or 18th and 19th centuries, knowing very well that the key developments that we all are enjoying today across the United Kingdom were mostly brought to existence by the hard work of most Black people that were brought all the way from
Yeah. Are you still there, Dr. Azu? Yeah. So, yeah. So, as Dr. Azu there just explained that, here in the United Kingdom,
of the early 40s and 50s. And so the Black History Month enabled the Black communities to engage, share common values, look back to their origin, celebrate their ancestral linkages and lineage, and share the cultural heritage that binds them together, whether you be a Black person from Africa or a Black person from the Caribbean. The Black History Month enables these two divide to really come together and share the common value of the Black community in the UK. So this has become a very significant national program or activity observed everywhere across the United Kingdom, and we are most grateful to the opportunity.
Yeah, just going back to what you have said there, how significant this is on the Black community. As we are looking at the contribution that our community has done over the past century or so. So now, if you look at what's happening now, you see that we have stepped up in terms of celebrating this day, this month here in the UK, because you see a lot of cities, they've got their own events to celebrate this Black History Month. So yeah, but how do you see that? Do you think it's a good thing?
Yeah, obviously, I think it's a very laudable venture and encouraging historic opportunity for the Black community to be able to know where they come from, how they get to where they are in the United Kingdom, how progressive they've been making lots of advanced progression in various fields of human endeavor in the United Kingdom. And also there's this, the Black History Month has been able to make it more obvious for the communities in the United Kingdom and the global community also to understand the added values of the Black community in the national social and economic development of the United Kingdom. Because in the last 100 years, it was very difficult to really equate the value that the Black community has been adding to the infrastructural, academic, and financial development of the United Kingdom, because they were not given that legitimate right or opportunity to express themselves freely and to identify their place in the society in order to ensure that the role they play in various community advancement, public advancement, and economic advancement in the society were well recognized and promoted. And so this has given us a huge opportunity. It's a highly welcomed era for the present generation of Black people, and I think this has enabled us to know the role the Black community has played in academics in the UK. There was a time when it was difficult for Black people to attend the Cambridge Oxbridge universities in the UK, and it was very, very difficult to find a Black person at the Eton College. But in the last 50 or 40, 30 years now, we have seen quite a number of Black people passing out from Eton, graduating from Oxbridge, Cambridge with first class, with one of the best outstanding graduating students from these very, very highly ranked universities in the world. And so it gives the Black people a great privilege to be able to know that they are really making huge effort to be in the same capacity of human knowledge development and societal advancement, in as much as the host citizens, host community of the United Kingdom. I don't want to use the coloration word of white and black, and so I'm trying to be very careful to make you to be very rational in the use of word. So the British have been able, or the English and the Welsh and the Scottish and the Irish have been able to understand, and in modern world and in a modern society, the need to absorb, to incorporate, and to associate freely and openly with the Black people, or the Africans or the Caribbeans in the UK.
If I take you back a little bit back, Dr. Azu, you are the director of the London Political Summit. London Political Summit has been hosting its annual meetings in October, which is the Black History Month. So can you just tell us a little bit more about what was the idea behind, so that we can be having consistently these events in October?
Well, the idea behind, or the idea supporting the initiative to begin the projection for the London Political Summit in London, being the economic and the financial heartbeat of Europe and the world. Also, we need to understand that London is also the heartbeat of democracy in the world. The institutionalization of democracy all began most especially in Westminster Parliament, and that has spread to across the globe. And for us at the London Political Summit, we saw an opportunity with the October Black History Month as a platform and a network to engage with our ever-growing political community within the African Caribbean community in the last 20-25 years now, or only 30 years, because we still have one of the longest serving ethnic Black minority MPs from the African Caribbean community in the person of Dana Abbott and I try to remember his name, the MP for Tottenham, who are one of the
David Lammy.
David Lammy, thank you very much, David Lammy, and also the guy from Ghana, the Secretary for Business now, who are an inspiration for the ethnic Black minority political class in the UK, and who felt that there is need to project such individuals, there is need to acknowledge their contribution to the development of political knowledge within the ethnic Black community, ethnic Black minority community in the UK, and also to use them as a model to encourage the younger generation of the ethnic Black minority communities in the UK to engage politically, to get involved politically in the political advancement and the future of the United Kingdom as a whole. And so we've seen at this present moment the emerging rise of elected African Caribbean members of the communities in the three political divides in the UK, from Labour, Conservative, and link them even up north. We find people have been elected in Manchester, and Liverpool, in Newcastle, in Birmingham and Southampton, and so it's quite encouraging. Such places where you find it difficult to even hear that a black person is elected into a council, not to talk of being elected into
Dr.
parliament.
Azu,
So
I know that this year London Political Summit marks 6 years. I think 6 years is 6 years this year.
yeah, 6th year.
Yeah. So can you just take us through some of the key figures that London Political Summit has kind of recognized over the past years within the black the black community?
Yeah, just as I was saying, the inspiration of the rise of the ethnic black minority political personalities in the UK has been an encouraging one for especially those of us who have a lot of interest in the development of politics and democracy in Africa. And as such, one of the elements of the London Political Summit is to bring some emerging politicians or modernized politicians across the countries in Africa to interface with the British political group or bodies in the UK during this period of our summits annually. And that has been ongoing now for 6 years. When we started in 2016, we were very grateful that we had to collaborate in good faith with the London Metropolitan University, who then worked and collaborated with us as our academic partners, and they helped to host the first summit in 2016, supported heavily by the school, the vice chancellor, and a lot of the academic staffs within the international and within the politics and international department of the school. The greater encouragement came when we had the first special guest speaker at that summit, in person of the former Prime Minister of Kenya, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, who everyone that understands African political history would have known a lot about him, and his father, who was one of the founding fathers of the modern day Kenya, was deputy to the President Kenyatta, the senior, when Kenya got its independence. And so he was there in life to speak, and he repropagates one of the philosophy or ideological direction of an African political dimension, which we need to begin to look into when he talks about Afrocracy, and he talked about Pan-African political agenda, which gives an African overview of how we can practice our own democratic institution that will not create, that wouldn't be creating the kind of a divide and rule principles that has kept Africa backward, but will create an enabling environment where Africans can decide collectively on how they want to move forward and make themselves relevant within the global community and advance the good cause of its citizens and its country for the good and the greater good of the people. And so we leverage on that, and we were very glad to have him speak at that event. And obviously we moved on from there. He became a patron and a mentor for our summit. From then on, we kept engaging with him and kept seeing the progress he's making and how he's been able to fashion some new political dynamics in Kenya and part of East of Africa and Africa as a whole. That culminates in 2018 when he and his good old brother and friend, President Uhuru Kenyatta, decided to do the handshake across the border. The handshake.
Sorry, Dr. Azu. Now, you have just mentioned one of the most important, I would say, political time, or I would say moment in Africa where we saw something unusual, something that doesn't normally happen, in the African political setting, whereby you've got the opposition and the incumbent, they've crashed in the elections, but they've kind of reconciled and coming together. So yeah, so I just wanted to say that. So yeah, go ahead.
Well, I think that is one of the first of its kind in Africa, and it became, I think that is now a kind of a strong legacy, and we feel that relationship should build a more stronger understanding between every party in power, in government, in governance, and the opposition at every level, to be able to find a means by which they can accept the challenges that faces them in terms of election outcome and the benefit of democracy in the country. Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta came to realize that for years their parents created this divided interest in politics in Kenya, and that has led to the loss of so many innocent lives, even as at recently last elections in Kenya, where loads of people were killed because of the outcome of an election. And for these two great young present day generation political inspirators to have decided among themselves to say, look, as a people, as senior citizens of the country, we can't just be watching and orchestrating an agenda that is causing the loss of innocent lives year in, year out. And they decided to say, look, this must come to an end. And they had a good handshake. And that handshake has led to this, the philosophy, I can't remember what they call it. They call it the bridge or something like that. And they've been trying to see how they can work together to develop a new political thoughts and an arrangement will help unify the country together and allow this systemic process of election that will not lead to any forms of after election conflicts that will lead to destructions of life and properties in Nairobi or in Mombasa or in all the regions of Kenya. And so this has given a kind of a template for other countries to follow. And obviously we saw that happened in Malawi. We saw that handshake across the border, brotherhood, embracement. I mean, it's very important that oppositions and parties in power understand that they all need to work together to advance the good cause of the country and the good benefit of the people. And once this is engineered properly in the society, there will be less frictions between the party in government and the party in opposition, and understanding how to get to election, and election should be managed in a proper way where the winner takes a good responsibility to acknowledge the loser. Let me
just interrupt you a little bit, Dr. Azu. So now you spoke about the famous handshake that Raila and Uhuru made in 2018. And last in 2020 in Malawi last year, we saw similar thing happening, whereby a similar scenario like what happened in Kenya, and the London Political Summit last year decided to award the president of Malawi and the former president with an award. Can you just tell us more about that award?
Yeah, this is what we want to be looking at when we look at the developments in various countries in terms of ensuring democratic peace and political order. We do give an enabling environment for social and economic development in every country. We saw that in Malawi, a similar crisis was about to erupt after an election, just like it happened in Kenya. And obviously, the international community were keenly observing the outcome of the whole political crisis, and played some roles in ensuring that justice prevails. And if justice is what everyone wants, once that is made clear, the two parties should be able to accept the judicial direction. And so we saw a situation where the opposition party felt that they won the election and they were cheated out of it, and the president was not ready to hand over, was not ready to transmit power. And then obviously we saw the role the judiciary played, the Supreme Court played, being independent of the two parties and the other two institutions of the democratic structure. Similar thing like in Kenya. And then when the Supreme Court gave their final judgment, and the incumbent president, Professor Professor Mutharika had already promised that if the judges declare their justice, and the justice is fair and free, he will accept. And he stood in honor of that word. And when the judgment came, he accepted the judgment. And for the very first time, we saw a president accepting both political and judiciary defeat, and transmitted power humbly in a very peaceful manner. And then he spoke and assured his supporters and his followers to adhere by the justice that was declared, and allow peace and tranquility to reign in Malawi for the good of the Malawian people and the country. And that is what we are expecting, that every reasonable and responsible politician or political office holder, a president in Africa, should begin to understand this factor.
Just to add on that, the president, the newly elected president, Dr. Lazarus Chakwera, when he came into power, he kind of like also offered an olive branch to his brother, and demonstrated statesmanship, that this is what we need to do in Africa, whereby we have to be able to accept, we have to be able to say that this is politics, and there is life after politics. It's not, politics should not be should not make us to become enemies, but we should be able to to follow the will of the people and move on with our lives.
Yeah, that's quite true. That's quite true, because the obvious thing is that the both leaders have been able to accept the fact that they cannot allow political electoral outcome to label them what do I call them, murderers, political murderers, who politically allow innocent lives to die just because they do not want to accept outcome of an election result or the judiciary decision of an election result. And so I believe that that is an added value to what His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, President of Kenya, and His Excellency Right Honorable Raila Amao Odinga has been able to initiate. And that has led to the initiative we have come up with, which is the establishment of the Uhuru Raila African Peace Accord Award, which is going to be a long legacy for recognizing the effort the two leaders have played in trying to stabilize political order in Kenya and across Africa, to bring about an understanding of a democratic peace arrangement in any society in Africa. And so the Uhuru Raila African Peace Accord would be awarded every year of our summit. And once we find leaders that have proven themselves in ensuring that they maintain political order, democratic peace in their domain in Africa, and also we'll be extending this whole process also to the Caribbean and the developing countries as we continue to go. In 2018, we were able to recognize the effort that was made by the Speaker of the Ugandan Parliament, which I think there was a point where there was kind of a friction between herself and the President of Uganda, Museveni, which would have led to a lot of crisis in Uganda. So we were able to recognize her effort. She is one of the longest serving female speaker of any House of Parliament in Africa. And I think one of the strongest speaker of a House of Parliament in the world at the moment. I'm not sure, I'm still counting. I'm sure she's still there. And so she came to the UK in 2018 to receive that award from London Political Summit, and we are very glad that she recognized that she recognized that fact that we do appreciate her input in developing political sense of belonging in Uganda, and also encouraging women into politics in Uganda and across East Africa, where she has been leading a lot of campaign across East of Africa to ensure that women get into politics and women are given enough number of representation in political offices in Africa, across the region in Africa. So, and we also believe that by recognizing and appreciating the role played by Professor Mutarika and Dr. Chawara in ensuring Chapera in ensuring political order and democratic peace in Malawi, they will be able to work together hand in hand, ensuring that they wouldn't allow their supporters or their close allies to inspire any kind of political disorder or conflict as they approach the next election in Malawi. And so this year we were supposed to recognize the president of Ghana.
Yeah. So Dr. Azu, before we go to this year, I just wanted because I know that the theme for this year we're talking about politics, vaccine, and nationalism. So before we go to who we recognize this year, I just wanted you to take us through about this theme, and what made you to come up with what made the London Political Summit to come up with this theme this year.
Yeah, thank you very much. What made us to come up with this theme this year at this year's summit is because of the present situation that is facing the global community. We were suddenly hit with an ailment that was medially coined out with the help of WHO, and they call it COVID-19. And we moved from COVID-19 to COVID-20, and then now it's just COVID. And then we were hit with this virus. Is it virus? They call it virus. And then the virus, which was highly underestimated by the developed countries, such as the United States and the United Kingdom. They never took it as a serious issue. They felt it was like a regional virus that wouldn't travel far. But then suddenly this virus traveled beyond their imagination and as at today has claimed almost over 2 million lives globally. And so we as humans have to find a reasonable way of trying to understand why we came to this point, and then how we're going to go through it and survive it. And for the last 1 year, 9 months or so, 1 year, almost going to 2 years now, the global community has been battling on how to overcome this virus and to face the new challenges ahead, as we call it now, the new normal. And so the new normal now has brought about the medical or scientific solution to bringing about the control or the managing of COVID-19 among human inhabitants, because this is an infection that is human to human, and there is need to develop a vaccine to be able to cope with it. And this vaccine was not meant to cure the virus 100%, but it's meant to ensure that we are at least 85% protected from the infections and from being having loads of fatality as we had in the last early 2000 across the world. And so, but then we looked at how is this vaccine being distributed around the world? Who are the greatest gainers of this vaccine, and who are the greatest losers? And obviously, the debate has been going on. And we know there's this organization that was formed between WHO and some multinational organizations and bodies. They call it COVID. Is it COVID or yeah? And, they were.
Yeah, I think it's the COVAX.
Yeah. This body was put together to find a way to engage with the big countries, the great countries, to ensure that they do not produce vaccines that is only used for their citizens and the other countries are marginalized from it. And so the summit will be looking at how has the politics of vaccine nationalism been managed globally, because we find that there was a point at the release of the vaccine. We saw countries like the US, we saw countries like Britain trying to play a protectionist theory or protectionist conspiracy in terms of trying to ensure that the first batches of the vaccine are mostly used by their citizens first before they can even think of other people in other countries. And so the game, the word vaccine nationalism came into full. And the media began to look at it, and then the critical debate started on why most of the vaccines produced were only used across Europe and America, while developing countries in Africa, in South America, and in part of Asia, South Asia, and East Asia, we are denied the supply.
It's very interesting, Dr. Azu. It's very interesting that this debate is very crucial at this time, because if you look at some other countries in Africa, some are just at 5% of national population in terms of vaccine outreach. And then if you look at some of the countries here, like Britain and some other countries, they're reaching almost 80%. So you tend to see where is the fairness? Where is the fairness in terms of the distribution of this vaccine through this program of COVAX?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You're quite right. And that is the essence by which we have created the team for this summit, as trying to find a reasonable understanding and a kind of a resolution on where we can see the advancement of the safety net for most of these developing countries in Africa. Like you just said, some countries in Africa have only vaccinated about 5% of its population. Something like Nigeria, with over 210 million population, have only vaccinated maybe about 3 to 5% of its entire population. And the vaccine is coming in trickles. They just received the last batch of a vaccine, I think from France, about 500,000 500,000 of the vaccine was delivered to Nigeria, I think sometime late last week. And when you are talking about hundreds of millions of people, we wonder, and we still wonder, how long African countries will continue to receive trickles of the vaccine rather than receiving a huge bulk of that vaccine that will go around the entire population. It's obvious that there is need to kind of rationally discuss the potential need for developed countries such as the United States, the United Kingdom, France and Germany, Russia and China, begin to have a very strong, obvious forward-thinking perspectives in terms of helping these developing countries to access as many quantity of the vaccine in order to reduce the anticipated wave of the spread, because we've had the first wave, we have had the second wave, we have had the third wave. Obviously, we don't want to continue to have fourth and fifth and sixth waves, because many countries are yet to vaccinate its population to a maximum level. At least each countries around the world, especially in the developing countries, need to at least vaccinate at least 75% of its entire population, and by then,
absolutely,
by then we can begin to talk about we can begin to talk about the precautions in terms of the medical or the hospitalization aspect of COVID, because many of us begin to understand that COVID isn't just going to be like the normal flu we have in Europe or the normal high temperatures you have in Africa, and this will begin to be an annual occurrence across countries until it all dies down completely on a gradual basis for probably in the next 10 or 15 years to come down the line. And so this debate or this discourse at the summit will enable us to see how African countries air their voices, politicians in the UK air their voices. We're going to be having Honorable Paul Bristow, member of the parliament from Peterborough, who is a member of the Health Select Committee in the House of Commons, who is very keen in this debate. We'll be looking at these challenges, and we'll be having health experts. We'll be having we'll be having Dr. Josephine Ojiambo, who is a public health expert and a former ambassador of of Kenya to the UN. We'll be having the president of Sierra Leone, Dr. Julius Bada Bio, who will be receiving an award this year as the West African President of the year 2021. We'll be receiving the Uhuru Kenyatta Award. We'll be also having a lot of other experts, discussants at the summit from the health area, from the social and public health area. And so it's going to be a very well and highly loaded event, and we look forward to it.
So, Dr. Azu, we've got less than 4 minutes to the end of this program. I just want you to wind up, give people that don't know what will happen on the 5th, on the 14th, on the day of the summit, what they should expect, and how they can get in touch with the people if they want to get involved with the London Political Summit.
Thank you very much. Obviously, the London Political Summit will be holding at the Council Chamber of Islington Council Hall, Islington Town Hall. We want to use the opportunity to appreciate the support and the encouragement given to us by Councillor Rekia Ishmael. He is a Conservative councillor in Islington, and the immediate past mayor of Islington. She has been very supportive of this summit since 2016. We want to appreciate also the new mayor of Islington, Councillor Torre Gallagher, who is going to be hosting us at the council on the 14th. And we want to say that we are very proud of Islington. The London Metropolitan University is situated in Islington, and Islington in the last 4 or 5 years has been the host of our summit in London, and we really appreciate the people of Islington. This year we'll also be having the mayor of Haringey, Councillor Adams Jogi, will be in attendance. We'll be having the speaker of Hackney Council, Councillor Michael Desmond. He will be there with us, and we'll be having loads of councillors from across the boroughs. We'll be having former mayors from across the boroughs that will be honored on that day. We'll be having the debate. We'll be having an award program. And so we look forward to see you. If you can make it to Islington Town Hall, I don't have the postcode in my head, but if you Google it, Islington Town Hall is somewhere in Angel. I think it's in north, south, or west north of London. That's where we will be. The program will start at 9 o'clock in the morning, and we'll run through to about 2 o'clock lunchtime at the venue. So it's going to be a great moment for every one of us. The chair of the summit is our great global ambassador, Dr. Josephine Jambo, and the program will be anchored by our own media expert, Priscilla Nwekpo, and the moderator and co-convener of this summit, who is going to moderate most of the debate for us, will be no other person than our own lovely great friend, Dr. Pauline Long. She's been very, very wonderful. She's been there for us, and she's continued to be there for us. She will be there to moderate most of the debates and discussions at the summit. And we also want to appreciate our own media support by Ben Television London. They've been there for us from the beginning, and we have to appreciate the founder of Ben Television, Dr. Alice Tishayode, who has also been there on a regular basis since 2016, supporting what we are doing. This year, we are going to recognize some new media houses. We're going to recognize BBC for their effort in giving us global news on what is happening across even the Black community in the UK and across Africa. We're going to be recognizing Channels TV, Nigeria, also We're going to be recognizing Colorful Radio also, and so many other individuals that we're going to recognize within the ethnic Black community in the UK, from London to outside London. And this is just the beginning, and we hope that this will be another great template for the year 2022 when we come around again. And so look forward to see you in Islington Council, and it's going to be great. It's going to be great. It's going to be great.
Wow, I think this is just a wonderful way to end the year, and we know that 2021 has been very frustrating year, but coming up with such great event like this, which addresses the current issues, the current challenges that we are facing globally, it's just phenomenal. So I'm just encouraging everyone to go to the London Political Summit social media. You can go to Twitter, you can go to their Facebook page and follow the events as it unfolds. And well, thank you very much, Dr. Azu.
You can check us out at www.londonpoliticalsummitawards.com, and you can email us also at info@londonpoliticalsummitawards.org. Sorry to say .org. And so you can check us out there. You can check us on our Facebook, London Political Summit Facebook, on Instagram. We're there, London Political Summit Instagram page, and we will be there. We're going to be sending a link for a live transmission on Facebook and on Instagram for the day. If you can't make it to the physical event, you can join us virtually through Real Issue. We're going to send links out on Real Issue. Real Issue is going to be doing a Zoom link for us on that day, and you can join the debate, join the discourse on Real Issue on the 14th. It's going to be great. And so I look forward to seeing many of you there. If you have anything, well, you can call me on 074-88389428, and I'm sure my partner, Alan Madidi, is from Malawi. He's our partner. We've been working together with the Malawian Heritage Group in Manchester. He can give his number also. If you can reach him out from Manchester, he can connect you. Thank you very much. You can give them your number, Alan, also. Yeah.
So my name is Alan Mandindi, as Dr. Azu just says. So I run Malawi Heritage UK, and we are based here in the United Kingdom in Manchester. And I'll give you my number. My number is 079 6921 6335. And also you can reach us on our website, which is www.malawiHeritage.org. Yeah, so get in touch, follow the London Political Summit on social media, and be part of this great debate. And as we are moving to help fight this pandemic. So goodbye, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you from